Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to Total Fitness Tuesday. And today's routine, lunge, will tear us apart. All you're going to need today is a light set of hand weights, dumbbells, yeah? No kettlebells today, it's been very kettlebell heavy lately. So, no kettlebells today, body weight and dumbbells only. If you've got a bit of variety, it's quite good. There's nothing heavy in this. But if you've got a few different sets, that's great. Otherwise, hopefully you can get by on one set. And for some of them, we do have a lot of overhead things. There's a lot of shoulder mobility today. And some of them are really tough with minimal weight. You can even put the weight down and just use the weight in your arms. So don't worry. But that's all you need. Let's get warmed up first, and I'll go through the details with you. Good morning, Kevin. Right, okay. Nice to move. Space at the front, Jolie. Just here. 10 each way. 10 forward, 10 backwards. total mobility today, like yesterday. Today, half an hour keep stretching and turn around back. Anyway, the main bit today is nice and simple. You're just working 45 seconds, last 15 seconds of each minute is your rest. There is no rep scheme, you just do what you can in each 45 seconds. 10 exercises, 3 times round. It's just half an hour, straight circuit to time. So it's nice and simple. What isn't simple though are some of the movements in there. There's a lot of shoulder mobility today, a lot of hip mobility. So some of these exercises are going to be challenging. So just bear that in mind. You just do what you can do. It'll only improve. Okay, so let me take you through each of the 10. So number 1 is pure body weight. It's a good one just to get warmed up. And it's a little ratio. You're doing 4 split jacks into 2 plyo lunges. Now plyo lunge is essentially a really deep split jack. It's the same movement, just much deeper. So I'm going to do this. So 4 split jacks, which is 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, on the toes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on reps 5 and 6. 5, drop it deep, push. 6, back, 2, 3, 4, 5, deep. 6, back. Okay, it's just that ratio. If you're not comfortable doing those plyo lunge, remember anything with a lunge in, keep your shoulders and your knees in line, okay, not like this, maybe like that. If you'd rather just do a lunge each side and then, rather than that plyo lunge, that's fine. Anyway, it's 4 to 2. 45 seconds, 15 seconds rest. Next exercise is an iso push-up. Straight into an isometric push. Okay, so remember, do these on your knees if you need to. Okay, you're going to get to that push-up. There, nose to the ground, so pull your shoulders down. Brace your lats between your elbows. If you need to, put your hands, put your knees down. Okay? You must keep, it's great practice for press-ups. If you get good at iso press-ups, you'll be good at press-ups. Okay, just focusing on that lat engagement. Brace your upper body between. Okay, that's what you need to do. 45 seconds, hold it the whole time if you can. If you can't, fine. Get back up, have another go. Try and get out of doing this though. This is what you don't want, look. That's the opposite. Okay, you're there, pull. Okay, 45 seconds of that, it's quite tough. Number 3, lunge and lateral raise. A little bit of coordination involved. Okay, so I've done that to the side. So as you lunge forward, raise, my knee hits the floor, my arms hit the top. Try and time it to get that rhythm. Okay? That's hard enough, so you've got everything working there. Again, on these lunges, focus on that alignment. Get out of this habit. Okay? So lunge on your training tracks. Okay, next one. Overhead sit-ups. So a little bit of cool now. Knuckles facing the ceiling. You can go neutral grip or pronate, doesn't matter. Up. And I'm still facing the ceiling with my knuckles up. There, 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 there. Never here. Always, no matter where I am in that sit-up, my knuckles are facing the ceiling. Okay. Now we've got burpee variation 1. Gorilla burpees. Whether you go chest to floor is up to you, you don't have to. Okay, so there. And my feet coming in to the outside. I'm just going to do like a little bicep curl and then back. Chest down, in, curl. So I'm staying low. Okay, the hips are nice and low. Okay, next one. Overhead jacks. This is surprisingly tough. You think of jacks is easy, but when your arms overhead, it's a whole different ball game. So there's no momentum there, you're just there, and you're doing those jacks. That's really uncomfortable for some people. If you've any pain anywhere, just do overhead side steps instead. Same principle, but you're just working on getting those arms back. Okay? It's not as easy as you think that. Do it in 45 seconds. Then, our second burpee variation, straight after, snatch burpees. Okay, so again, chest to floor or not, it's up to you. In, and this time all the way up. Back. Up. Okay, you don't have to go chest to floor though. That's up to you. Right, nearly there. What we got? Kneeling, ISO, hold. So, as to complement the push, we need a pull. So, we're doing an ISO hold for pull. So, you're on your knees, okay? Sit back on your heels like this. Arms out like this, and then bring your chest to your knees. You're just going to hold. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Great for posture. Great for upper back. Okay? Try not to do this. And be there. So we draw a straight line, shoulder to hand. Just think about squeezing, yeah. An alternative to that really is if you've got tight quads, it's hard to get in that position. So you could just do the standing version, so just hinge the hips, engage the glutes, and then bring your hands up. You can do it without weight. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, it'll still work. Minimal weight for that. Right, we're nearly there. Last two. Overhead squats. Very, very tough, very challenging, particularly if you're going for full depth. Remember with a squat, don't sit back, sit down. A hinge is a sit back. If you're doing a kettlebell swing or a deadlift. When I'm squatting, I want to sit down between my feet. So the knees have got to go out, so engage the glutes. Knees over the toes, hands overhead. Okay, nice and low. And if you want to have the dumbbells in, that's fine. But beware, it makes it so much harder. Okay, you've got to keep that. The stretch, it's not easy. Particularly for 45 seconds. Anyway, last one then. Back to abs to finish, abs scissors. And this is a tough one. So, when you like a hollow body, just squeeze your glutes, out, cross, out, cross, out, cross. Very tough to keep the legs straight. You'll find a lot of people doing this, and that's fine. As long as you keep your head and shoulders and keep your abs tight, you can just come a little bit higher. Make it a bit easier. Just hovering on the floor. Bites the ab. You want to keep your spine pulled into the ground. Okay. That's it. That's your 10. I'm going to remind you many times I'll be doing it with you. So if you're unsure on some of them, go right. That way you're not going to do yourself any harm. Okay, right. So we do 3 rounds, and then we've got the finisher. Lunge will tear us apart. Obviously, we put lunges for that. Right. Three rounds with nothing more than an extra few seconds on each round just to grab a swing. Right, so number 1 was your 4 split jacks to plyo squat, okay? Push up! round 2. 3 rounds, do you remember? Right, come on then, round 2, here we go. 3.
Now look at this, and this man that keeps attracting me. I try to run to see I'm not that fast. I'll be the first to show you finish last.
Come on, we're nearly there.
Build my hood wrong till it overflows. Colors too loud. I've been drifting slow. Lead me away when the lights out. There's a light out. Can you bring me back to life? Can you bring me back to life? Can you bring me back to life?
That's perfect.
Back to life. Let my feet go to the ground below. Show me sky now. Show me where to go. Lead me away when the lights out. There's a light out. Oh, keep me rising. Stop me burning. Keep me calling.
And the last one. I couldn't even do it, but wanted to. Right, come on. Last one. Right, for the finisher, Lunge will tear us apart. You need nothing. Mats away, dumbbells away. Try and get big. 1s, 2s and 3s on the top row. 4s, 5s and 6s on the bottom row. That means back and that lactic threshold in your legs, and also hip mobility. I'll explain all in just a minute. Create yourself some space and be ready to go. Right, give me a minute or so. We've got total mobility coming up straight after. If you fancy a deep stretch and relax. Cortisol levels in your body now, which is sky high. You stick around for a half an hour, stretch, relax. You're going to drop back to the floor and you'll feel like $1 million, I promise. Before we do that, we've got the final challenge. Lunge will tear us apart. And this is what you're doing. So the bell's going to go every 50 seconds. Okay, every 50 seconds. Okay, what are you going to do? In each of those 50-second blocks, which is there's 4 of them, 30 mountain climbers at your normal speed, no slowing down, and then an isometric lunge for the rest of the time that's left. And as you're doing 4 rounds, you're going to swap your lead leg each round. So it looks like this. 30 mountain climbers, 2, 3, 4, up. When you've done your 30, let's start on the right knee. I'm going to hold an isometric lunge. So I'm just going to hold in position. One perfect position. You've got to think about that alignment. Okay, because you get 95% of the average person on the average street, and ask them to do a lunge over this. Okay? We want to get completely away from that. Okay? This is what's called the Q angle. Okay? You've got to externally rotate that. Get out of this. Okay? And that comes from the glutes. Yeah? It comes from that. Imagine pushing your knee outwards. That's what you need to do. But in the lunge, you need to keep all those joints aligned. Shoulder, hip, knee, toe. So use the mirror if you can. You can see that far from the back. Use the mirror. What you don't want, don't start here and lunge like that, because straight away you're in trouble. And if you've got internal rotation as well, you're in deep trouble. You're almost crossing over, you don't want to be doing that. So start from this shoulder width position and stay shoulder width. So imagine you stood on the train tracks. Yeah, keep your foot on the tracks. And keep your knee in line with the tracks as well. Hold. When the bell goes, you can come out and do another 30 mountain climbers. And then ISO lunge at the top. From this way, another thing to think about is this. If you've got tight hips, you're going to find this. You're going to be doing this. So more weight's going to be over that front leg. So you're going to feel it much more here. You can get a nice even spread. So keeping that. But you won't, if your hips are tight, you won't be able to. So just do your best even if you pull forward. Okay, but ideally you want that knee 2 inches off the floor. Inch 2 inches, as close as you can get without resting on the floor, obviously. And then hold. The more you do this, like anything, isometrics get you good at doing whatever. So the more isometric lunges you do, the better you'll get at lunges. The more isometric press-ups you do, the better you'll get at those. The more isometric of anything. Like pull-ups and chin-ups are great. Do a lot of isometric hold, and then you'll get good at them. Worth doing. Okay, so 30 mountain climbers, hold to the bell, just 4 sets, done. Lunge will tear apart. Okay, are you ready then? 30 mountain climbers on the bell. 3, 2, 1, go. practice. Next time you do it, get better. Brilliant, well done, right. So mobility coming straight up now. In a couple of minutes. Stick around for that. Walk out here like the Dalai Lama. Well worth it. See you in a minute for that.